Awesome.
All right.
Okay, so we are here. Welcome back to 2022 Midweek Music Maelstrom. We did have to kind of cut off interviews previously just due to a lot of scheduling issues during holidays, but we're back and we're bringing you all the best local bands that you may not have heard of, and we're here to get some new music into your Spotify playlist, YouTube playlist, wherever you listen to music. And today, Wrath and the Wise Guys. Did I say that right?
Yeah. Yep. That's it.
All right. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your genre, how long you've been around?
All right. So Wrath and the Wise Guys as a band, we played our first show April last year of 2021. I think we probably started jamming together in about like January. So the songs have been written for like 10 years. So it was really easy to, once I had the people to really just start going. So we had that. We played our first set in April, played 20 shows between then and Halloween. And yeah, I guess genre-wise, we're skate punk, garage rock, very, I'd say a mix between like CBGB era, like New York, and Black Flag, like California style, just punk, from one corner of the country to the next, and not including Florida.
Right. I was listening to your stuff before we did this interview, and that is exactly how I describe it. And it's really refreshing because, in my opinion, you still keep that classic sound, but it still sounds something that a modern audience would love. And I do feel like there has been, that skate punk revival, especially in recent years. And I think that your sound just kind of hits the nail on the head. And I love it. I started following you on Spotify.
Thank
and
you.
I don't do that with every band that I interview because yes, people kind of want to get the name out there. I interview them, but to really have something I want to add to my personal library, I will admit it does not happen with every interview. And you guys are now in my Spotify library.
Thank you. That means so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for putting out great tunes.
That we try.
Well, you definitely succeed. So what were some of the influences when you decided this is a project we're going to put together, and how did that come about?
Originally, so this is, I guess, sort of a second incarnation of this project. I moved to Florida almost 8 years ago now. And so right before I moved, I was jamming with a band and I had written these songs. We were called the Tornadoes. So that was a lot of fun. But so I moved down here and I played in and out of bands, and then finally was just like, man, I just need to pick up my own stuff again. So when I was writing it originally, like I said, like 10 years ago, it was a lot of Dead Boys. I was watching, I think the CBGB movie had like just come out.
So I love that movie.
So it was more, it was a refresher course for me because I grew up on Rancid and stuff like that. So it was a lot of remembering bands like Dead Boys and going back to the Ramones and Talking Heads and everything like that. So it was a lot of that, a lot of anything.
My heart. My heart be still.
But yeah, like anything Keith Morris, Black Flag. I was listening to a lot of Off at the time. I really like that stuff. Circle Jerks, which I just got to see, which was really cool.
I have an entire playlist on that, like everything that you hear from CBGB, like Spotify. I think that's like my daily mix too.
Yeah,
it's, oh god, my heart. That is everything, because I have everything from like metal to folk to classic punk to symphonic,
right?
And it's just like, I feel like unlike people with the more eclectic music taste, which yes I have, when you love like that classic punk, it takes up a big chunk of your
Yeah, definitely.
So you said that it was kind of Wrath and the Wise Guys, it was the evolution of a previous project, kind of where it steered?
Right, yeah. So I moved down here, started jamming with the guys on these, the 6 songs we put out as Rude, Crude, and Socially Unacceptable. And then we all it got a little, obviously more collaborative. And so we started going in a more skate punk, Rancid, adding a little bit of ska influence to it and just branching out even more mean, just kind of experimenting. Because obviously you can hear the songs that are straight, just very straight punk rock, and then you've got "Melt My Brain," which was actually one of the last songs written.
But I love the riffs on "Melt My Brain."
Right, and it's different. It's just like we wanted to just do different. So, but obviously, like you said, it keeps that same classic sound.
It does, and it's really got like those hookish riffs.
Right.
So "Melt My Brain" and "Nose Candy" were the ones that I've really loved. Those are the two that I added to my library. But I mean, I love it all. It's just that I just hit 2,222 songs in my library.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm at 2,224 now.
Right.
I tried not to add anything else because I just loved that number. But you know what? It happened with 1111. I need to get to all threes.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to help me out with that.
Yeah, awesome.
So have you played, you said your last show was April 2021?
No, our last show was Halloween. Actually,
Halloween. Okay, so, that was your first show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what have been some of your coolest experiences on stage as a performer? Either the coolest or the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you? Maybe not necessarily with Wrath and the Wise Guys, but like what has been like that memorable experience performing?
Man, I want to say that the most memorable stuff happens when I'm in a position to not remember.
That'll do it.
So, I know, actually with Wrath and the Wise Guys, we got kicked off after about 2.5 songs because we were just a little too much for this old lady bar. That was kind of fun. Trying to think, we played at Rubik's in Melbourne, and I had a bunch of beer poured on me during actually it was right like immediately as the set ended. I was on the ground as I do, and my buddy Scott came up and just poured an entire beer on my face.
Well,
so yeah, I mean, like, it's weird where there's not a whole lot that actually is I guess weird, because we do just go nuts on stage, so there's not a whole lot I guess I would call like too off the wall.
All kind of fits with your energy.
Yeah, I mean, because that we go crazy, but we are still very professional about it, I guess, in a way that we make sure that nothing bad usually happens. Yeah, I'm trying. Actually, okay, so our very first show, it was like a cover set at this bar, and we took a break after our first set, and we came back, and we're playing like "When I Come Around" or something, and I jumped coming out of the last chorus or something, and I landed with my legs straight, and I just completely like blew out my left knee, right knee, I don't even remember now, but yeah, it was awful. So I hit the ground and I kept playing, so everybody thought it was just part of the show. And luckily my guitarist was an EMT, so he was there to help, and we sort of, I mean, I stood to finish it, but
that is great luck. I mean, not your knees, but the whole EMT thing.
Right, yeah. So that was interesting. But I was already drunk, and the fact that I could feel it, I knew that something was really wrong. So yeah, but that's, I mean, other than that and like puking on stage just from honestly being dehydrated.
I feel like everyone's done that at some point, either in the crowd or on stage. It happens.
Yeah.
Gotta hose down the venue.
Right. I mean, usually, I've been good. Our last, couple shows have been getting a lot better, but when we first started getting back into it, I mean, our first show, I puked like, well, I guess our first show playing like all originals, I definitely like puked half on the stage, half off the stage to the side. I tried to run, as much as I could.
Attempted courtesy.
But yeah,
Did any bandmates, equipment, or fans get sprayed?
No, I'm pretty courteous with it. No, usually just the floor. My hand sometimes, and that's, yeah.
My God. So a lot of bands, you were saying you were doing a cover set, like a lot of bands' influences end up being incorporated into their cover sets. So you said, right, like, you're really inspired by like all the classic Cali puns. So who have you really incorporated into your sets?
Well, our first set was funny because I was playing in a band previously, right before this, called Farewell Atlantis, and they were more like pop punk, like almost a Day to Remember type stuff. And so I had booked us to play this emo night cover set, and we sort of burnt out. And I was with Wrath and the Wise Guys, and I was like, why don't we just play it? And so we played that, and was like nothing like what we do now at all. So that was weird. But as far as influences and covers now, we were doing Radio by Rancid for a long time, basically all of last year, and tomorrow is our first show back, and we just incorporated a Screeching Weasel song. So
really, so tomorrow so this is going up on Tuesday, but this is being recorded Friday, right. January 21st. So
right. So January 22nd is our first show back since Halloween of last year. And we are throwing in Cool Kids by Screeching Weasel. So that should be cool. And what's weird is I didn't really grow up listening to them at all. But I don't know, I liked it, and it just sort of it felt cool. So
I have to ask, is that a John 5 poster behind you?
Yeah,
he's like my favorite guitarist.
That's yes.
So
that's why
kind of like,
that's why I play Telecasters.
Okay, because I was gonna say that kind of seems a little off brand for your sound.
Yes. For Wrath and the Wise Guys,
with Manson, absolutely. He's now with Zombie.
So again, I guess I keep having to go back to the beginning over and over again because it's a very long setup process literally over the first 27 years of my life culminated into right now. So before I did this I guess in 2020, I was like, I need to just start playing more shows. I want to start doing more solo stuff. I was getting I got really heavy into John 5 in high school, listening to Marilyn Manson and stuff like that, and then sort of revisited that in 2020 and just got re-obsessed and just started trying to do that whole thing.
Have you listened to his new album that came out?
Yes. First time I heard it, it was a little underwhelming. I have to be honest, but everything has really grown on me. Like every single track has grown on me that didn't immediately like hit me. But yeah, if you look up just Wrath, especially on Spotify, there's a single on there called Krampus, which is very in the style of John 5. It's a heavy guitar instrumental. So I was sort of doing my own.
Out a Krampus candle every year.
Who does?
My company Crypnotic does year-round spooky merch, and we specialize in like skull candles.
Nice.
Things like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we also do a Krampus candle. It's in a jar, but it still smells, like rain and ash and pine.
Dude, that's awesome. That's really cool.
What it made me think of.
Nice.
And so with John 5 being kind of a different influence, like what other stuff do you listen to that maybe doesn't have that Wrath and the Wise Guys sound?
I guess it's kind of because I don't listen to a whole lot else, to be honest. Like in regular rotation, like in high school, I was really into metal. I'm from Virginia, so like Lamb of God came up a lot. I was really into them, especially learning guitar because their riffs are they're awesome. They're really fun to play. I don't know. Like it is all very very sort of either proto-punk or garage or very in the vein.
So would you say that John 5 being an influence on the way you play guitar, like have you been able to incorporate that into kind of more your own style, something that you even would say is audible today in what you do?
Maybe not so much in Wrath and the Wise Guys, but I actually am. It's funny that you asked that because I've come up with a couple of concepts and for songs that I do want to do that with, that sort of add that. Yeah, so actually, like today,
I'm excited. I'm really excited because these are two styles of music that just have my heart and soul.
Right, and it would be so interesting to mix, but not sound like propaganda. is
Gotcha.
I guess I want to keep like because I love the garage sound so much, and so I love to keep that.
Uh-oh. You froze there. Uh-oh. Oh no, you're frozen. Oh no. Oh, what did I do to him? If this brings him back. No, it didn't bring him back. Lord. The only thing to do is if I turn off the camera and turn it back on.